Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Alright, I'm not doing another take because what happened was I did that for perfectly in one take, the entire solo, right to the end of the song, or end of the whatever. And I ran out of memory on my phone, so actually I did halfway, about 8 minutes of the show, and it cut. And I said, okay, well, should I just edit in and do it later? And I said, don't worry about it. I'll redo it. It'll be fine. This was like probably the 8th take of doing that solo. So if it sucked, I don't care. I blew up my monitor in front of me, blew up as I was on the 4th take, so I didn't even have the sound coming out of here. And anyways, no excuses, warts and all. Mistakes are free, and I play it every night with Bridge on Fire, and it was okay. So, anyways, watch the other video. Seriously, I had almost the show completely finished, and it might happen again. Never know. Anyways, I deleted a bunch of stuff, so hopefully it's okay. Anyhow, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. It's been a long day. It's the evening now. I mean, I got home late from a gig, which wasn't really a late gig, but still got home late because it was a 2-hour drive and blah, blah, blah. And, I was tired this morning. Angela's sick, so I was taking care of her today. Had a bunch of things to do. Had something I was supposed to do, couldn't do it because of something else. And then got a bunch of stuff work around the house and had to go shopping. And, who cares about my life? Anyways, let's talk about what we're supposed to talk about today. As I went to see Motley Crue last Wednesday in Toronto. And Motley Crue, Tesla, and Extreme. And we're going to talk about that show. I haven't been to a really harder edge show in a while. Cheers, by the way. Saw Triumph not long ago, which was kind of a different kind of show because that was kind of like a homecoming or a once in a lifetime thing. Hopefully, because I hear they might be coming back, but we all I think kind of treated it that way. It was just a gift that Triumph gave us as fans. But went down to see Motley Crue and to support acts. Now I've seen Motley Crue. I think this was my 8th or 9th time seeing Motley Crue. And I've always gone to see the opening bands because they always had great opening bands. And I don't know if this was because Motley Crue had a history of not being that great live, even from the beginning. I saw them on the Shout at the Devil tour, and it was pretty good, but Vince still made some mistakes and screwed up, and they weren't exactly tight, if you know what I mean. But that show was Accept opening, so I loved Accept at the time, and still do, and went to see Accept. Then I went to see Theater Pain tour. I believe Y&T opened, and I love Y&T, Dave Meniketti, and so I went to see Y&T. Then I saw Girls. No, I missed Girls. I was on Carlton Street in Toronto, and Whitesnake, the 1987 album with the lineup with Rudy Sarzo, Vivian Campbell, Adrian Vandenberg, Tommy Aldridge. Everybody wanted to see this band because that was the breakthrough album and everything else. So basically everybody wanted to see the band, so I was on Scalper Street, as we called it. Or no, we didn't call it that. Carlton Street. And we couldn't get in. So I didn't see Girls, but I was there on the street. Then I saw, make a long story shorter, longer. So Dr. Feelgood was Tesla opening. And then, of course, the reunions and the farewells and all that kind of stuff I saw after that to make up 9. Always went to see the opening bands. In this case in particular, yes, I wanted to see Nuno Betancourt, and I wanted to see Frank Hannon and Jeff Keith and everybody else in Tesla, because Tesla's one of my favorite bands. To make a long story short, Extreme stole the show. Tesla kind of got blown off the stage. Motley Crue was still phenomenal to their fans because of the spectacle that they are. And I think that's the reason why people go to see Motley Crue. It's just a spectacle, you know. They know the songs. They don't know the live songs. So they know the great versions of the recorded songs. So guess what? Hey, Motley Crue's in Toronto. Hey, let's go see them. I've never seen them before. And I've seen them enough times to know that Vince is either getting some kind of enhancement going on, or he just can't lip sync, and it's just a mess. And there's a lot of tracks going on. They were actually better this time than the last tour that I saw them on. But you know, I think people just go because it's the name, it's the brand. They go to see the brand, and then the band and the brand may not line up properly, talent and sound and quality wise, but everybody still goes home happy. The last time I saw Motley Crue in Toronto, people weren't happy. It was a really bad vibe at the end because Def Leppard, it was a stadium tour, and, you know, Poison, Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, I think that was it. Another band at the beginning, I can't remember who they were, but just Def Leppard played before Motley Crue, and the sound was perfect, the band was perfect, great show. And then Motley Crue comes on, the sound was terrible, so we already know it's not the PA, it's the band. Okay, and then, and anyways, it was a bad vibe. This was a better vibe. Everyone was into it. The whole Carnival of Sins motif was good. They had a lot of dead air later on in the show, which was weird. I just don't like dead air, and they had a ton of dead air. But that was that. Guitar-wise, the guitar player who stole the show was Nuno Betancourt in Extreme. Extreme jumps on at 6:30, sadly, a little early for a lot of people on a Wednesday, so a lot of empty seats. If you go back and watch the video of Angela and I singing along to More Than Words, you'll see a lot of empty seats. And Angela, by the way, wanted me to mention that she thought More Than Words at the show was the best rendition of any song she's ever heard live. It was beautiful, actually. It was really awesome, everyone singing along and everything else. But Nuno, a guitar fest, opened with Decadence Dance, did some new songs, Play With Me, Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee, guitar solo, Midnight Express, guitar solo, Wholehearted, acoustic, More Than Words, and then they just said, hey, happy birthday to Pat Badger, our bass player. By the way, it's also Ozzy's anniversary of Ozzy's death today. So, and they crank into I Don't Know, right into Bark at the Moon, and right into Crazy Train, and not just, well, they didn't play the entire songs, but a good chunk of them, and all the guitar solos, and you know, shredded all those Randy Rhoads solos. Oh, and one Jake Healy, sorry, it was a Jake Healy in the middle there. Yeah, they blew Tesla off the stage. Tesla is a huge band in the States. They're more small market, like Night Ranger, you know, the county fair type band, or opening band, slated to be an opener in big shows for the rest of their career, probably. Amazing band. I love Tesla. I knew every song. I think they're great, but the energy was just taken by Extreme. If you didn't see Extreme and walked in on Tesla, it was an amazing show. And then Motley Crue comes on, and everyone was pumped. There's great to see a lot of kids there. Of course, there's a lot of older fans there, but great to see a lot of kids there. But I think they go to see the brand, and hopefully they're entertained by the songs, and it was entertaining enough. And you know, same old Crew. Didn't talk to the audience much. Tommy was phenomenal. John 5, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he's a phenomenal guitar player, but he's not the guy for Crew. Crew needs McMars, that dirty, grungy sound, and just the vibe of McMars playing those songs. And it's all McMars' riffs, let's be, I mean, Nicky wrote the songs, but those riffs were McMars, and he bleeds into those. That's his bloodline, and those guitar riffs and guitar solos. It's just a phenomenal thing. But all in all, entertaining show. Liked it. Loved Extreme and Tesla. Wasn't the worst cruise show I've seen. I see some. I think the stadium tour in Toronto was probably the worst I've seen because there was just so much expectation and such a big show. And yeah, it's funny because our friend Alice, if she's out there and watches the show, was there at the show, at the stadium show, and she's sitting in front of us because we were kind of a big group of people and that. And the Nasty Habits were on. If you don't know who the Nasty Habits are, Motley Crue has these stripper type girls on stage that kind of dance around and pretend they're singing backing vocals. I don't think they are. And then she kind of just turns to me and goes, "What the hell's going on?" She'd never been to a Motley Crue show before. I said, this is the Crue, man. It's tacky. It's 80s." And he goes, "Really? They do this?" And it's like, "Yeah, they do." And they did it not so flamboyantly at this show, but yeah, they were there, the girls and Vince and John 5 pulled the show together, and Nicky is playing. I think he's playing, but there's a lot of tracks going on. Like between songs, there's a lot of instrumental stuff. Anyways, Extreme and Tesla get a 10 out of 10. Motley gets a 7 out of 10. If the stadium tour was a 4, I'd give them a 7 here. Yeah, and they played some older songs. Red Hot. They opened with Red Hot, and some of the songs missing. Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away. That's the title. I can't remember what it was, but one of my favorite songs by them. It wasn't in the set. Anyhow, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Wednesday night at the amphitheater. Hard to get in and out of the amphitheater these days. I took the GO train down. No parking whatsoever. T-shirts. Bands these days, all they're making money on is merch. Okay, Spotify's ruined, and streaming platforms has ruined any thoughts of people buying actual physical product. They still do, but everyone, the mass audience is just streaming, and ruining the royalties for these people. And then they stay out on tour forever. And T-shirts are basically, and merch are really what keeps these bands alive. The bigger bands, the bands are on the scale of Bon Jovi, Kiss, and Guns N' Roses. They send a pop-up store the week before to the town. Especially like Bon Jovi is playing a number of nights at Madison Square Garden. A pop-up store comes up, then all the stuff. There's lots of stuff that you can't get online there. special T-shirts and stuff, and guitars that are signed and that kind of thing. And then they sell their merch, and they make a ton of money off of their merch. And that's if I can afford it, I'll buy a T-shirt. And food's expensive at concerts, and T-shirts are $70 range these times in Canada, and something I don't mind giving $70 to the band, because I know part of that goes to the venue, and this is all they're doing is selling merch. A lot of people buy tons of merch. People buy the hoodies. People come to concerts just to buy the merch, which is great. So anyways, support them. Don't buy those T-shirts outside, because those aren't the band's T-shirts. Just don't. It's not a good idea. If you love the band, don't do that. And they never have my opening band T-shirts out front anyways. So, anyways, I got a new Tesla T-shirt at the show. All my other Tesla T-shirts are way too big. I need a shirt that fit me. So, anyhow, played a great outdoor party at a private party at someone's house. Sadly, I showed up there, set up my stuff, did sound check, played, talked to a bunch of people, had some drinks and food, got fed beautifully. Don't even remember the people's names who invited us to this party and let us play and paid us. Anyways, I was with Keep the Faith, and what a beautiful place it was. And thanks anyways, if anyone is watching this that was at the party, and sadly I don't know your names, but thanks so much for having us in your house. And or if you want to call it a house, it was more like a compound of sorts, 12 acres I believe, and great stuff. We will be in Newmarket, Sharon at East Gwillimbury Tuesday night's concert. Hopefully it doesn't rain on us. That will be coming this Tuesday, the 28th of July. And then we have Chudley's coming up, of course, August 8th. Bridge on Fire will be at the Niagara Fiesta Extravaganza at Fireman's Park off Dorchester Road in Niagara Falls. this coming Sunday, a week today. I think we're on at about 2:30, 2:40 on the main stage for Bridge on Fire. One set, come see us. Might be some surprises. You never know. Other than that, have a good one. I'm going to do this before I run out of space again and run out of battery power, which is looking low. Have a good one. Take it easy. See ya. Good night.